Hey guys, so in this video we will be talking about some basic object-oriented programming in JavaScript. Okay, and the very first thing about JavaScript is it allows you to uh, create objects without defining the class. Okay, for example, if you want to create a bird object and for your game, and let's say you want to create this kind of a bird object, and let's say you have certain properties for the bird, such as let's say the bird is in a 2D scene, so it might be standing at some coordinates xy. It may have certain width and height, it may have a certain color, or it may have certain functions like the bird is like walking on the screen, or bird is like flying on the screen. Okay, so maybe you can define all these properties directly without defining the bird class. Okay, so let's try to see how we can create a bird object like this. So let's say var bird, and this is how you can create a empty bird object. So let's try to run the code. And what I've done is I've created a new file oops.js. So in my index I'm using this file oops.js. You can include one or more files by using the script tag. Okay, so this time we will just see the output of bird.js, and let's see what is a bird. So bird is actually an empty object, you can see here. Okay, so what we can do, we can add certain properties to the bird. Let's say it has a x coordinate, that's let's say 100. It has a y coordinate, let's say it's 20. It has some, let's say, color, let's say the color is blue, the value is a string. And you can see these values are these property values are in numbers, and this is a string, and it can be an array also. For example, let's say bird has a collection of eggs numbered as 1 2 3 and 4. So this is what you can do. So let's see what is a bird now. So if I see what is a bird, so bird is an object that has the following properties, and if you want to access certain property, you can do bird.x, and you can also update it. You can say bird.x equals to 120. So that will change the x coordinate of the bird. Okay, so that's now 120 and so on. You can also see what is bird.x. You can also iterate over this array. Okay, let's say if you want to iterate over the eggs array, you can say for let I equals to 0, I less than bird dot x dot length I plus plus, and you can do console dot log bird dot x of I. Okay, so this is how you can iterate over the x of the bird, and you can see the output is 1 2 3 and 4. There is another way in which you can iterate over the arrays using for loop, that's called a for each loop. Okay, so that's a loop that you can use over an array. You can say bird.x is an array, and dot for each, for every element that you will get in this, let's say function, you get index and the value, and you see console.log index and the value. So what I'm doing here is maybe just to specify, let's say 1 2 and 3. Okay, so let's say bird has 3x named as 1 2 and 3, and what we have done is we have created a unnamed function. So that's like a callback for every element that is there in this particular array. We will call this function that will actually get two things. Okay, so we will get 1 and 0, we will get 2 and 1, and we will get 3 and 2. So we will get the indices and we will get the values one by one. Okay, so we are iterating over these pairs, and this function will automatically get index and the value. Okay, and in that particular function I'm just outputting both the things. Okay, so let's see. So you can see 1 2 and 3. So I think it should be the other way around. It should be value comma index. Okay, or it should be like this. Right, it should be the value comma index. So the first parameter is the value of the element, is not defined. Yeah, this is not there. Okay, so we have 0, we have 1, we have 2. So you can see we can also iterate over a array using a for each loop. So as I said, a bird is going to have certain properties. It can have certain methods as well. Okay, so let's see. Let's say there is a method fly and it's going to be a function. Okay, so remember we had seen two ways to create a function in the beginning. So the first way of creating a function is called function declaration, where you have you use the use keyword function and give the name to a function as fun. And the second way was to create an unnamed function and assign it to a variable called square root here. Okay, so this way of declaring a function is actually called as function expression, and we had seen that function expressions are not hoisted. So similarly here what we will do, we will have a fly which is a variable in the bird object and it is assigned to a function, and here you can see console.log bird is flying. Okay, so we won't see this output unless we call this particular function. So let's try to run the code here and let's see. So we have the bird, and if I want to call this particular function, I can see bird is flying. And also if you want to print the coordinates where the bird is flying, you can say x and y, but this won't again work. You can just try it out. If I just call bird.fly, you can see x is not defined. So the reason why it is not defined, because whenever there are some properties inside the bird object and you want to use them inside the bird class, you have to use a keyword called this. So this refers to the current object. Okay, so you have to give the coordinates as this dot x and this dot y. So if I now call the function bird.fly, and you will see bird.fly, you can see bird is flying at these coordinates, and this is how we are able to access the attributes inside the bird class. Okay, so this is one way of creating JavaScript objects, and in this case you have clearly seen we have not used any class. We directly created one object without defining a class for it. Okay, so this way of creating a JavaScript object is also called it's a JSON object, that stands for JavaScript object notation. Okay, so we'll see some more ways in the next video.